Hello, my children. So in this video, I'm going to be discussing a debate that still plagues the community to this day. Of course, being Smash 4 vs. Ultimate, and give you a rundown of each game, giving each one their own comparison while sprinkling in my opinion, of course, of each one at the end, but I'm going to try and be as objective as possible, but there will be inevitably some subjectivity to this, so please, no arguments in the comments, okay? Remember, the purpose of this video is to have a discussion, not an argument, so feel free to jump in the comments section to give me your opinion if you feel so inclined. But before we begin, sit down, make yourself comfortable, do whatever you gotta do, go grab yourself some popcorn, nice glass of water, because today I'm gonna be telling you a story of epic proportions that has made the man-child you all see before you who he is today. Alright, well, it's actually not all that epic, it's just the story of how I found the Smash community, but just let me have this, okay? Just let me have this. So, I had gotten Smash for 3DS a few weeks after it came out, and me and all my friends in middle school basically played the game together all the time when we had the chance to, and it was truly an interesting time to say the least. Of course, 13-year-old me didn't know anything about Smash at the time outside of playing Brawl with my cousins, taking turns just trying to beat Subspace Emissary and constantly failing because we all sucked complete dick at the game. I remember my friend Randy was the best out of all of us, and I made it my personal goal at the time to beat him, since he would body me every single time we played, and nothing really changed until the Wii U version of the game came out, and I was obsessed. And I mean obsessed. While I was at school, I swear to God, I could not focus on anything class related because I was just too busy thinking about getting home and just playing the game, because that's just how much I loved it. I was just obsessed and could never ever stop thinking about it. But despite all the time I had put into beating the best For Glory had to offer, it wasn't enough, and Randy would still wipe the floor with me every single time we played. And one day he decided to give me a piece of advice I'll never forget, and he changed the way I saw video games forever. He told me to go on YouTube and look up someone's channel in particular who will not be named, but nonetheless, I had studied all the videos I could find on YouTube about the competitive scene and soaked up all the information I could find. Beefy Smash Dudes, My Smash Corner, and other channels and videos I had just constantly studied and binged all day. Me and a friend of mine were playing For Glory doubles one day, and we were rocking a Toon Link combo because, you know, we were corny like that, and we got a really cool clip. He proceeded to tell me that we should send this clip to Styles X2 in hopes of appearing in his The Salt Is Real series, and made my own channel under my real name and uploaded the clip. Unfortunately, the clip never made it into the series, but it was exciting for me to see the video get views and see people engaging with the video, and decided to make the channel you are currently watching now. Well, and the rest is history, really. Well, I didn't mean for this to turn into a history of how this channel was created and all that, but it kind of does correlate with the story of how I entered the competitive Smash scene and came to love this game and the competitive scene overall. And I don't know, I just thought it'd be cool to share, I guess. So while yes, Smash 4 does clearly have its problems, and a lot of people, and if not most people, hate it by now, it still has a special place in my heart, and just consider that before you go into the comments and debate anything at all. I still do love Smash 4, but time to rip on it, baby. Since we're already on the subject of Smash 4, I'm going to dissect it first, then Ultimate in the second half, judging each game by its own merits and what they have to offer. Let's start with the presentation. I think for the most part the visuals in this game are excellent, and it kind of blends the pseudo-realistic art style of Brawl, while also bringing back more of the color into the characters and the stages of the older games. However, looking back now, the game seems to have a somewhat washed, wider look, and it's slightly bland in comparison to Ultimate, and the visual effects and the texture of the characters is really well done and stylized in the game. And as for the music,
oh shit, you mind if I praise the Lord? Go ahead.
I mean, let's be real, we all know we got some bangers. Alright, but besides that, minus some of the tracks off the original soundtrack of the game, Smash 4 has brought in some of the most iconic remixes and original compositions that are still widely loved and listened to by all Nintendo fans to this day. Alright, now this is where the game kind of falls flat on its face a little bit, and I'm going to go into detail in a moment and as to why. If there's one aspect I can definitely praise about the gameplay, is that the input buffer and latency is overall fairly tight and significantly better than Ultimate's system for inputs, and the balance is fairly decent if we're talking Smash standards anyways.
You know, like, oh my god! Clutch side B.
But
And
these
not before
these
eating some
combos,
damage, quickly getting 50% and more. Oh! To the top. Will that
Oh
do it? That
my
will
god!
do it.
Okay. Besides these two are the exception, not the rule, okay? Not the entire game is like these two. These two are just broken for no reason, and I don't understand why. As for everything else, it kind of just feels unfinished and just feels like they didn't consider anything fun when developing the gameplay mechanics and the combat. Relax just said it best here in his video. Just listen to this.
Where in Smash Bros are you your weakest? When you're off stage or you're at high percent? This is what you're working towards in Smash Bros combat. But hey, you know, let's just make them safe in both of these situations. High percent, that makes you stronger. Oh, and if you're off the stage, let's just get you right back on there, young man.
The new mechanics introduced in the game just makes it so that there's never any real risk or commitment to anything, which forces the player to play as low risk as possible, or as the wonderful people on Smash Twitter say, lame as fuck. This is why you'll consistently see situations in neutral where two people are just holding a shield next to each other because they're both afraid to make any commitments, because commitment essentially causes death. And that's why you'll also see someone like Salem who consistently picks Bayonetta and camps the Smashville platform because it's the most optimal thing to do in almost every single matchup because no one can contest her camping. But that's besides the point. That's besides the point. Alright, if I'm being honest, saying the game modes and content are weak is a bit of an understatement. Like, man, I thought the average Smash player's hygiene was weak, but here we are. Sorry, that was kind of a bad joke. Basically, all of the game modes or extra game modes just come down to other versions of just multi-man melee and just like other similar concepts. So while some of the concepts introduced in like fights are kind of interesting, for the most part they're all just, you know, watered down versions of multi-man melee. Don't even get me started on Smash Tour. Let's just pretend that doesn't exist, okay? We can all just pretend that didn't happen, okay? Thank you. Alright, so let's just talk about the online real quick. Yes, it's not perfect. I don't think any Smash games online will be perfect, but I mean, it was definitely serviceable, and for the most part, For Glory was actually worked fairly well, especially for me. And I really miss the feature of being able to fight someone multiple times while also being able to change characters. I kind of miss that, to be honest, and I don't know why Ultimate removed this feature. It's such a simple thing. I don't know why they would ever remove that. Don't get me wrong, though, it definitely had its moments. It definitely had its moments. And while yes, Smash 4 doesn't have arenas and other things that they added to the online mode for Ultimate, I think overall the overall playing experience is slightly better to Smash 4, so I think I'll give that to Smash 4. Alright, so generally speaking, I think this section is going to be slightly shorter because I already covered some of the things that I had to say about Ultimate and its specific features and other things. So let's just dive right into it. Presentation. Everything about Ultimate's presentation is better in every single way, for the most part. Yes, the characters are more colorful, the stage is more detailed, the music so much better. Almost everything is better. But the only thing, this is now this is more of a subjective thing, but I personally feel like I kind of like the texture of how the characters look in Smash 4 a little bit more, because while I appreciate that the characters have way more color and overall detail added to them, they have sort of this Play-Doh-y-ish look. It's kind of hard to explain, but it's more cartoony, and the characters are more expressive, which is great. I love it. I mean, look at this. You can't tell me this isn't beautiful. I don't know. I think I kind of miss the pseudo-realistic textures that the other characters of Smash 4 had, so I think that's the only thing I could say that I would like more about Smash 4 in terms of the presentation, but everything else is just excellent. As for the gameplay and combat, the characters, so much more well balanced, and overall the game is way more fun to play. It doesn't have this joggingly horrible slow pace, and every character actually feels like they can do something for once. The balancing is just great. Every character feels so much more smooth to play, and I don't have to feel like only 20% of the cast is actually viable. The overall character design in this game is significantly better than Smash 4's, and the characters' mechanics and gimmicks don't entirely rely on just cheesing your opponent to win. They're all fleshed out and all have unique ideas, for the most part. And yes, I also mentioned this earlier, but the input buffer in this game is, for all intents and purposes, just significantly worse and doesn't really add much to the overall gameplay. It just makes it feel more sluggish, and comparing that with online, it's just, it makes it not fun sometimes, and the game just forces you to do things, and it just feels like some situations are just kind of out of your hand and you can't really control it, which is frustrating, because the player wants to feel like they're in control of everything that happens to them, even if they lose. But in certain situations, the input buffer really can just screw you over, and it's just not a good feeling to have. And I really think that should be fixed rather sooner than later. Although, yes, for the most part, the gameplay in every category except for the input buffer is just drastically improved over Smash 4. I don't think there's any way around it, and I think most people would agree. Minus some people, but whatever, that doesn't matter. For the most part, I think everyone can agree that the gameplay is just overall improved in every category except for the input buffer. I also think we can all appreciate that the mechanics that were added back to Smash Ultimate, such as wave landing amongst other things that were added for just overall quality of life changes, are very welcome and were desperately needed after 4 years of Smash 4's metagame, to be honest. Now let's talk about the content and game modes. And I gotta say, just everything is also just significantly better in every single way. They brought back Home Run, thank God. And while we don't have something in the level of Subspace Emissary, we do have World of Light, which I know a lot of people are divided on, but I personally enjoyed it, especially if you do the ending of killing both of them. I think it's pretty great, the true ending, I think it is. I think it's pretty great, and it's overall pretty enjoyable, minus some fights. I'm looking at you, you know who you are. And yeah, all the game modes, and there's even new ones, it's pretty great overall. I think all the game modes, it's just drastically improved over Smash 4 as well. Now, the last thing to tackle about this game before we officially give both of these games their score, and I give my personal opinion about it if it wasn't obvious already. I'd say it's probably the game's biggest Achilles heel by far. Zero question, the game's biggest Achilles heel. The online. And I kind of already made a section of my video about it. You can check it out if you want. But the game's online is, for the most part, not very enjoyable a lot of the time. Sometimes it does work, and I know they just recently improved it with the recent patch, which is great. And I do feel significant improvement overall, but I think the ends justify the means, and in this case, it's just... Why is the online this bad? Why is Smash 4's online better? It doesn't make any sense. It's on a newer console. I think it should be able to have better online. I don't understand why this many people are lagging out. Why this many people are having such horrible connections. I don't understand why. I think it should be pretty simple for a company like Nintendo to understand. But unfortunately, they're just still behind the times, but it is what it is. Alright, so if I had to give each game an individual score, I'd probably give Smash 4 a 6.5 out of 10, or maybe a 6. That can be debated. And Ultimate, I'd give a 9 out of 10, to be honest. I know that's probably a big difference between numbers for some people, but personally, that's just how I rate the games. It doesn't mean Smash 4 is bad. It's just, I mean, all things considered, it's the worst game in the Smash series, which really isn't a bad thing when you really think about it. And of course, both of these games have a very special place in my heart. I mean, Smash 4 is the game that introduced me to this community and to this competitive scene that I hold very close to my heart, very dearly, but I think Ultimate's just a better game overall. I just like it more. I don't know what to tell you. Sorry if you're disappointed, you 5 Smash 4 players left out there, but Ultimate's just better. Sorry. Alright, well, I think that's just going to do it for today. I'm not really good at transitioning endings, so I think we can just play the music.